We are all mortal. Death comes for us all. No matter what, there's no escaping it. So what do you live for? How far are you willing to go for that thing you live for? Hell's Paradise is a story about the desperation to live and the lengths in which humans are willing to go to survive horrific situations. Shinobi and ninjas, they have no individuality, they exist to complete missions, and if they die, there's someone to replace them. Gabimaru, the Hollow, is one of these shinobis. And not just anyone, he's the cruelest of them all. He's on death row for killing an entire group of people that attacked him. I think he kills like 20 men. It's crazy. It's a lot of men. But they can't kill him no matter what. They try all these different tactics. They try to cut his head off. They try to pull him apart by bulls. They try to burn him at the stake. None of it works. He can't die. It's crazy. So then they bring in an executioner who is from the works. So then they bring in an executioner who is Yamada Azumon Sagiri. She tells Gabby that he can't die because he's still living for something. His wife. Gabby refuses to accept this. They have a fight. Then Gabimaru realizes that she's right. He doesn't want to die. He wants to go back and live a normal life with his wife. However, that's impossible. He can't do that. He's a criminal. He's on death row. But she says that she can give him a pardon, straight from the guy in charge of the country. All he has to do is travel to an island known as the Underworld and retrieve the elixir of immortality. Simple stuff. What the only problem is, everything on the island wants to kill them dead, from plants to giant monsters to immortal gods. This is Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise has just come out as an anime, and I really wanted to get this video out before it came out, but it's already coming out as I'm recording this. It's really good. The anime is just as good as the manga, and I'm so excited to rewatch it. Well, not rewatch it, experience it again in a different medium. The book was so good, and the anime looks great. The main theme of Hell's Paradise is the desperation to survive. As humans, we all feel mortal. We all want to live. So Hell's Paradise takes that to the extreme and shows what lengths the characters are willing to go to survive. This is usually shown through fights where, they get their cool shonen level up scenes because they realize that, hey, they don't want to die. And many people in the book do die, and it is awful. It's really sad. But the thing is, it's kind of implied that these people, it's not that they didn't want to live, it's that they weren't desperate enough to live, it's a little harsh, but I think that's what they were going for. Also, at the start, they just don't stand a chance against these monsters or the gods because they have this mystical power called Teo, and you don't really find out what Teo is until a little bit down the line. So at the very start, many people die because they just don't understand how this magic works. When they start to learn the magic, then they get better at fighting. Gentetsuai is an incredible swordsman known throughout all the land for his incredible skills. He travels from town to town showing off his skills while committing a little bit of murder here and there. Gentetsuai was more than happy to go to the island because his whole goal is to become a legend and go down in history for killing monsters. However, this changes as the story goes on. After meeting people that are way stronger than he is, and he starts to wonder, what's the point in fighting? Because he'll never be as strong as Gabimaru, Sagiri, and the others. So he starts to give up. He doesn't see the point. But then he realizes that becoming a legend isn't all there is to living. In fact, maybe he just needs to live a life he's happy with. So he accepts his weakness and decides to survive to change his life and live a life he's proud of. This idea of living to change how he was living is great. He accepts his flaws and learns that being someone isn't what life is all about. And it's fine to live a nice, quiet life. Living for yourself and living to become a better person is definitely something that people will go to great lengths to achieve. This is the main theme of Hell's Paradise, is the idea of what are you living for, trying to find a reason to live your life. Chobi and his brother Toma, the lengths they are willing to go to survive is crazy. Chobi is the first character in the story to straight up lose his humanity, and although it is completely accidental, he willingly uses the power even though he knows it's going to kill him if he uses it too much. In order to protect his brother, he's willing to do this. He wants to live, but he's willing to sacrifice anything to protect his brother. This is done so well as Toma feels the exact same towards Chobi. However, Toma isn't nearly as strong as Chobi, which leaves him feeling helpless and struggling to save what he cares about, and once Toma trains with Gentetsusai, he learns to accept his weakness and grows even stronger. Chobi notices this and finally understands that he no longer needs to shield his brother from the world, and they start to fight together and become a terrifying duo. Accepting your own weakness is something that is really difficult to do, and doing so will make someone even stronger than they were before. In character, that is. It's not like you get physically stronger. However, in Hell's Paradise, strength in character is taken quite literally, and it does make you physically stronger. This is the power system of Hell's Paradise. You may have heard me mention, characters accepting their weakness and growing stronger. This has to do with the power system Teo. Teo is the system that takes a lot of aspects from different religions, but is specifically based on yin and yang. The way it's described by one character is strong, weak, strong, 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 weak. Gibberish. Makes no sense, right? Basically, if you accept your weaknesses, it allows you to harness your Teo, which is basically the essence of your life. If you use it, you can see and read attacks that are coming, and it enhances your strength. Everyone is given a different elemental attribute that kinda like rock, paper, scissors. Some attributes are strong against some, while weak against others. The attributes are fire, water, wood, plant, metal. So the characters work together to strengthen their own Teo to kill the immortal gods. This makes the fights really fun to watch. When the characters are beaten down, they basically start to kill themselves by using their Teo. This leads to some very intense fights, which make you wonder who will let up first, the immortal, or will the character destroy themselves by using too much Teo. The hermit gods in Hell's Paradise are great characters. They don't just feel like normal villains, they really feel like their own characters with goals and dreams and aspirations, which basically just makes them good villains. So they do feel like villains. Sorry. The hermit gods in Hell's Paradise are great characters. They are truly terrifying villains. Demei, the hermit god Tenzin, was one person that split themselves into 7 different people, as the best way to train Teo is by balancing it with another person. Hence, the Tenzin have the ability to switch their genders at will. Although, the only one who is different is Mei. She cannot switch her gender and is not as strong as the other. However, at the start, the Tenzin was super chill. All they wanted was to study immortality in their own way, but as the years went on, they get more desperate and cruel. That's when they start killing humans. And to do this, they need to train an army. And the best way to train an army is to train their Teo. See where I'm going with this? Did I mention how the strength in Teo? The reason they can switch genders is because you strengthen your Teo with someone else. So they have sex. They just bang. They bang a lot and it makes them strong. So the best way to train an army is to train their Teo. See where I'm going with this? Yikes. The Tenzin tried to force Mei into having sex with this army and she ran away. Fair enough. She then travels with Gabimaru. After they get into a few hijinks, all she wants to do is find out what caused the Tenzin to change and become cruel. And this is where it comes back to determination. The Tenzin are so determined it's turned into desperation and turned them cruel. We all have to die. And what happens if we didn't? After living for thousands of years, we'd probably become just as cruel. If Gabimaru gets pushed to the brink, he too can become cruel. That's the best part of the Tenzin, is that they are a reflection of the main characters and show what they could have become if they were to live forever or to become too desperate. Gabimaru is often pushed too far and uses way too much Teo, usually when his determination turns into desperation. The first time he ever uses it, he straight up loses his mind and all his memories, reverting him back from someone trying to live and get home to his wife to a shinobi ninja willing to sacrifice himself in a heartbeat. He eventually gets his mind back because Sagiri, who has the wood attribute, is able to recharge Gabimaru, who has a fire attribute, which kind of explains how Teo regeneration works. Yin yang come together, make it stronger. That's why the best way to train your Teo is by having sex. I know, great power system. Gabimaru and Sagiri are so similar and opposite in personalities that they balance each other out. This causes them to get even stronger together. This is one source of Gabimaru's power. The other is his will to live. This comes from the desperation to get home. I say desperation, but it's actually determination. The determination is fueled by his wife that he loves, and the woman that taught him it's okay to want to live a normal life, even if his whole life he'd been trained to die and kill. All he wants is to get back to her, and seeing him fight to make that happen is so epic. It's so cool. All the characters have their own reasons to live, but not everyone is strong enough to make that happen. I was recommended Hell's Paradise because I was told it's similar to Chainsaw Man, and while I wouldn't say it's similar at all, the two are completely different. They are similar because characters die, and they die a lot. It's awful. I love it. I love when a series is willing to kill off characters. I am sick. I wouldn't say Hell's Paradise is similar to Chainsaw Man at all because they're completely different. I'd still recommend Hell's Paradise, and now is the best time ever to consume it. At the time of recording this, Season 1 is being released, so go watch it. I wanted to get this out before then, but I'm lazy. The series has it all. Incredible fights, a great setting, intriguing lore, and great characters with their own driving force. Well, I didn't speak much about the story because I think people should go watch it. The midpoint of the story had me feeling more stressed than any other story. There's this overwhelming sense of entrapment, and characters are on their last legs but they can't rest. So they're forced to go closer to the gods' chambers and continue the fight. It's crazy good. I love it. It's such a good story. Go watch or read Hell's Paradise.